let's lighten the mood with some Afroman. So, this guy, I reviewed something of him already, and I liked it enough to make me want to do more of his stuff. And he's intoxicating, but also you're gonna want to hear more songs. If you only know him because of the song "Because I Got High," well, that song sucks. It's not that good. It makes me happy that he got stardom because of it, but just thinking of him as a one-hit wonder and the guy that just talks about how weed ruined his life is inaccurate, and it's actually highly inaccurate. He may have not been on a major label after that album, but he did have a series of songs that were plenty successful afterward. So this is removed from any features, and he talks about a lot of just grabbing a beer and a blunt and that being it. And so, obviously there's places to go, but you're going to have to listen to the record to decide when, how, and when you want to listen to this, and when, how, and where you want to listen to this, not when, how, and when. So it's quite good. He's a fun person. He knows what to say, and you can get the sense that he was living probably before he was famous, and his stardom just kind of was like, whoa, I'm trying to think. It just kind of was a supplement more than like a full makeover. So that's what you get. And so Afroman's enthralling, and this album is really mellow, but it doesn't really have the huge hits of the good times, but it's still a good record. So you can smoke to this. Two immediate ones. I know they're obvious, but Take a Hit and Smoke a Blunt. Those songs sound as if really, they're just so slow, and you're going to be thinking a lot when you listen to these songs. This is hard. Sometimes I feel like my attention span isn't as long as it needs to be, and you will notice that on those two songs because they're 6 and 7 minutes long, and a lot of songs on this album are more than 5 minutes. So just understand that. But there's a couple other ones. Come On's a good song to smoke to, and so is Beer Bottle Up. The production, like I said, this is where it's mellow. I still like these songs, but they do not have, it just is not as raving. That's the best word to say, is it's just not raving on this, but it's a good release. So the unheard songs, out of 10 songs, these are the ones that I liked. Beer Bottle Up, The More You Drink, Take a Hit, Come On, Life of the Party, and Smoke a Blunt. Obviously the smoking, drinking records are something, but two extras are Come On and Life of the Party, which lets you know that Afroman probably, goes to these things, and this is something extra. It's a new topic that I think Afroman probably needs at this. Well, he doesn't need it, but it adds more spectrum to him, because hey, he's not just a smoking guy, he's also the party guy. He can get the club going, and more importantly, a shindig, a hosting event, just some of these things that you go by. It's not like a stick in the mud to have a few of his songs playing. So it's good that you're going to be able to do that more than just sitting down and doing, smoking. So these are some good things, but there's not necessarily like going out to the club and dancing records. So it seems more like you're with your pals, but you're not really going out. It's more of like house parties more than public parties. So you just gotta be aware of that. I don't think most people will notice, but just don't expect to hear him on the radio. So this review is kind of short, but that's what I wanted to cover. So basically, you've got yet another album to add to the load of stuff that I've already recommended to you, and it probably will get you feeling a lot more relaxed if you listen to the stuff I've recommended instead of like just, hey, some of the makeshift stuff. But alright, so I recommend this release even though there's only 6 out of 10 records I like. I'm going to give this album a 6.5 out of 10. I want to give it a 7, but 4 songs, we could have used just a little bit better. I'd say Ghetto Life is close, but not close enough to be an almost song. So 6.5 out of 10. And the future, I don't know what Afroman's been up to. He's been dropping EPs. I want him to go back to doing albums. Is this album social? I'll give it like a 7 social. I'll give it a 6 social because it's mellow. There's more secret songs, but it just doesn't have it's more lazy, and so it just isn't as alarming at this time. So you may like it, but you may be thinking it's not as good as his old shit. So you just have to kick back, put your feet up, let it sink through your ears, and you should be great. But alright, give this album a 6.5 out of 10 and a 6 social. Subscribe for more fun.